What's poppin', internet? It's your boy here, Snuph from Dirty Earthlings, with another edition of the Rapper Report Card. On this week's episode, we have a rapper whose grades are sure to spark some conversation. The one and only Tupac. Does Pac make the grade? Let's find out. Before we jump into the grades though, let's take a quick look at the criteria. Each rapper is graded in 6 different categories: vocabulary, delivery, wordplay, beats, creativity and originality, and impact on the culture. Each category will receive a letter grade of A through F, and, just like in school, each letter has a point value attached. A's are 4 points, B's are 3, C's are 2, D's are 1, and F's get 0 points. Plus or minus grades will either add or subtract 0.5 points. So like the highest someone can get is an A+, which would be 4.5 points. Got it? At the end, we'll add up the points, divide by the 6 categories, and what we're left with is the MC's rapper GPA. Please be sure to like and subscribe so you can be notified when new report cards drop. Tupac was born on June 16, 1971 in East Harlem, New York, and became an influential figure in the world of hip-hop. His impact on the culture is immeasurable, and he left an indelible mark with his music and his lyrics. Tupac was known for his emotionally charged lyrics. He had a unique ability to convey themes like social issues, inner turmoil, and personal experiences in a way that really resonated with a broad audience. Tupac began his career in the late 1980s, initially as a backup dancer and rapper for the hip-hop group Digital Underground, and made his debut on their album This Is an EP release in 1991. Also in 91, Tupac released his debut solo album, Tupacalypse Now, which immediately garnered attention for its socially conscious lyrics and controversial topics. However, it was his 1993 album, Strictly For My Niggas, that brought him widespread recognition, featuring hits like Keep Your Head Up and I Get Around. In 1995, Pac signed with Death Row Records, a move that would change the course of his career. He released All Eyes on Me, a double album, in 1996, which became one of the best-selling hip-hop albums of all time. Tupac became embroiled in the infamous East Coast-West Coast hip-hop beef, notably feuding with the notorious B.I.G. and other East Coast artists. This feud became a focal point of media attention in the mid-1990s and had a significant impact on hip-hop culture at the time and various ramifications ever since. Tupac's career was tragically cut short when he was fatally shot in Las Vegas in 1996 at the young age of 25. However, his music and impact continue to live on today. Tupac's use of vocabulary in his rap lyrics was notable for its ability to connect emotionally with his audience. Though many might disagree, I wouldn't say Pac had an enormous vocabulary. A lot of his lines were based on basic words and ideas, but they struck a chord with their meaning. He's nowhere close to rappers like MF Doom or Sean Price in use of varied vocabulary, and this consistent use of normal verbiage hurts his score here. Pac was deep and thoughtful, for sure, but the words he used to express those emotions were usually just some basic-ass words. He didn't really stretch the boundaries of word choice, but he didn't need to. What he did worked for him, and that's great. He just didn't have a large catalog of interesting or provocative words or phrases to do what he did. He gets a C+ for vocabulary. Tupac's rap delivery was a defining aspect of his artistry, specifically his voice, which is a huge aspect to this category. His deep, heartfelt flow wrote the beat like it needed to, but his voice was the one major aspect of his delivery that remains timeless. His ability to stretch certain words in that, Tupac kind of way. You know what I'm talking about. Feel me? It's still mimicked and talked about today. He started with a more lyrical delivery, but that changed somewhat when the Death Row era started. He shunned more of the East Coast influence that was easy to identify in his early songs and fully embraced the West Coast gangster approach that produced songs like California Love and Hail Mary. Pac mastered his style, which is in itself no small feat, but without that voice and the vocal nuances he brought to his rap, the delivery would be mid at best. Part of this vocal ability was his emphasis on certain terms and phrases, helping to deliver his message in an impactful way that made the listener feel the pain behind the words. B+ for his iconic voice and being able to ride the beat within the rhythm, but that's about as far as I can go. He's not in the A tier with a straightforward flow like he had. This might be another section many will debate, but Pac's wordplay earns a C+ tops. His straightforward style mentioned previously limited his appeal to ultra-lyrical rap fans looking for more complex lines that connect multiple ideas simultaneously. Pac had a simple style, and while there was some complexity between the lines, don't get me wrong, most of his lines just rhyme the last word, and there's rarely deviation from that approach. In Life Goes On, he says, "Bury me smiling with G's in my pocket, have a party at my funeral, let every rapper rock it." It's a fine line, but just rhyming things like pocket and rocket is kinda on the simple side of wordplay. Pac wasn't known for multisyllabic rhymes, which not every rapper has to be known for that, but the simplicity in his lines holds him back for this category. There was some double entendre mixed through many of his raps, but again, compared to some of his more lyrical peers, even these fall on the simple side of rhyming. Pac's message wasn't in the intricacy of his wordplay, it was in the emotion he conveyed, and it can be hard to convey complex and passionate emotions in equally complex lines. He was very point A to point B with his raps, and there just wasn't a lot of deviation from that. Tupac's vocabulary and word choices were sometimes limited, resulting in repetitive themes and phrases throughout his discography. This lack of linguistic diversity can make his lyrics feel kinda stagnant and uninspired over time. C+, it's just the best I can justify for wordplay. Sorry. Tupac's beat selection was a crucial aspect of his music that contributed to his enduring legacy in hip-hop. While his early beats were hard and had more of a New York East Coast feel, his later stuff is ultimately what he's known best for, and it's hard to get your beats from Dr. Dre and not get an A+. It's almost not fair. Like, if you're getting beats from Dr. Dre and some from DJ Quick, how on earth can beat selection be anything lower than an A? Pac has some of the most iconic beats in hip-hop's history, with even a couple coming before his time with Dre. Dear Mama, for instance, is instantly recognizable and one of the most head-nodding beats there is. But the greatest share of iconic beats came in the Death Row days. California Love, Ambitious as a Rider, all classic beats and automatically known through different generations as soon as they come on. It's Dre, it's an A+. Tupac is often hailed as a creative genius in the world of hip-hop, but upon closer examination, his creativity actually might fall short of the lofty praise he receives. While he undoubtedly made a significant impact on the genre and was a talented artist, there are several reasons to be critical of his creative output. First and foremost, Pac's creativity was often overshadowed by his tendency to rely on kinda cliched and formulaic themes in his music. He frequently explored topics such as street violence, poverty, and social injustice, which, while important issues, can become repetitive in his discography. It's one thing to address these issues, but it's another to do so in a way that brings fresh perspectives or innovative approaches, which Pac just rarely achieved. Tupac's creativity was also marred by his penchant for indulging in sensationalism and controversy. He frequently used inflammatory language, like many in rap do, and he also engaged in a lot of feuds with other artists to generate buzz and sell records. This reliance on drama and conflict, rather than relying on pure artistic talent, speaks to a lack of genuine creativity. True creativity should be able to stand on its own merit without resorting to shock tactics. Tupac's lyrical creativity is also questionable. While he had a gift for storytelling, his rhymes often lacked depth and complexity. His lyrics were straightforward and lacked the metaphorical and symbolic depth seen in the works of some other iconic rappers. This simplicity may have made his music more accessible, but it also limited the depth of his creative expression. Tupac may have been influential, but true creativity requires a level of originality and depth that he often just failed to achieve. Tupac is often celebrated for his impact on hip-hop culture. but it is important to critically assess this impact to gain a comprehensive understanding of his complete legacy. While he undeniably left a significant mark on the genre, his influence also had its drawbacks and potentially problematic aspects. One of the most notable criticisms of Tupac's impact on the culture is his promotion of gangsta rap and its associated themes of violence, criminality, and misogyny. Now, Tupac is hardly the first person to talk about these topics, and he won't be the last, and he's probably not even the most famous person to talk about these topics. So it's definitely not fair to pin all of this on Tupac, but the reality is Tupac's music often glorified a lifestyle of crime and street violence, perpetuating negative stereotypes about African American communities and contributing to the commercialization of gang culture. Both Tupac and Biggie losing their lives in the crossfire. Tupac's impact on hip-hop culture in this specific regard can be seen as a contributor to the toxic beef culture that at times has marred the genre's reputation. Tupac's influence on the commodification of hip-hop is another area of concern. While he may have been a voice for the marginalized, his image and music were exploited by record labels and the media, contributing to the commercialization and corporatization of hip-hop. This shift prioritized profit over artistic expression, ultimately diluting the genre's cultural significance. Again, something like that isn't squarely on Tupac, but we would be remiss if we didn't at least talk about his contribution to it. With all of this being said though, Tupac undeniably had a profound impact on the hip-hop culture and remains an influential figure in the genre's history, and his impact on the culture just cannot be overstated. He left an indelible mark in several ways, earning his status as an iconic figure in the world of music. Pac's charisma and authenticity made him a beloved figure in rap. He was relatable, genuine, and unapologetically himself. His personal struggles and vulnerabilities were evident in his music, fostering a sense of connection with his audience that transcended the music. To a lot of Pac fans, Pac is way bigger than just music. Good or bad, he remains a symbol of resilience and determination. His work ethic and dedication to his craft set a standard for aspiring artists, demonstrating that talent and perseverance can lead to success in the face of adversity. For all of this, Pac definitely deserves an A+. Alright, so that's Tupac's report card. If we add up all of the scores, he ends up with a total overall score of 19.5, which when we divide by 6, gives him a rap GPA of 3.25. That's not bad, it's a B. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be upset that it's not higher, and there's some that may even want it to be lower. I don't know, but I feel like a 3.25 is an honest look at Tupac as a rapper, as a complete rapper, all things considered. Well, I know some of you guys are going to think I got it wrong, so please let me know in the comments, baby, like always. Also, be sure to like and subscribe so you can be notified when new report cards drop. Until next time, this has been Snuph from Dirty Earthlings for the Rapper Report Card. See y'all later. Peace.